What's crackin'? It's Fine Trends here, and today we'll be looking at 5 kids who are way smarter than you. Before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like, and a sub is always welcome. In the number 5 spot, we have Joey Alexander, who is an absolute pro when it comes to the piano. He can play Mozart like a boss, but his specialty is old school jazz, and I don't know about you guys, but I love me some jazz. He's gained thousands of subscribers on YouTube from his piano skills, and he's even been on the TED Show. Honestly, this is kinda sad because I still struggle to play Jingle Bells on the piano. In the number 4 spot, we have Tanishq Abraham, who is 12 years old and got accepted to 2 universities. Videos like this make me feel like a failure because I'm 20 and still struggling in 1 university. Anyways, by the time he was 6, he took his first college course and was at the top of his class.
It began with a love of dinosaurs, and the next thing you know, Tanishq Abraham was asking his parents to allow him to take a college course. He was 6.
It's like you're 6 years old and you want to take a college class. So we just laughed it off.
But age 7, he came back and convinced mom and dad to ask American River College about attending a class.
Lots of professors who were like, didn't really want me in my class because I was too young.
Finally, a professor agreed, but there was one condition. Mom had to participate.
You become a student, and then he can learn all the materials via you, like all from your notes and from your exam.
It didn't take long for Tanishq to become the top student.
There were times when I had to explain, general relativity and special relativity to my mom.
As a mom, it's a very humbling experience to have a 7-year-old as a classmate.
And she's a doctor of veterinary medicine. His professors say he wasn't afraid to ask questions. Lots of questions.
In lecture, he would always pop up with, well, so does that mean? And so what about this?
Fast forward 5 years, at the ripe old age of 12, Tanishq has been accepted to UC Davis and received a Regents Scholarship to UC Santa Cruz. He plans on studying biomedical engineering and becoming a doctor and medical researcher.
I think I'll be 18 when I get my MD.
Tanishq says he knows child geniuses are often thought to be odd.
When you think of a genius, it really is like mad scientist kind of a thing.
But he says he's just an ordinary kid who plays with video games, not just microscopes. He says he just likes to learn.
Okay, I have never seen anyone who loved math so much. The excitement she has is actually ridiculous, and it scares me a little bit. Honestly, I wish I was as good at math as she was because I have a test on Friday and I'll probably fail it. But just look at her, at 10 years old, and she wants to own a bank by the time she's 16. I wish I had dreams like that as well.
So Esther, do you want to tell me why maths is your favourite subject?
I just love maths. All the numbers and the solving is like a mystery.
So how are you finding your degree?
It's easy.
It's easy?
Super easy.
So how quickly do you think you're going to do it?
I was thinking about 2 years.
Fantastic. So what do you want to do when you finish your degree?
Well, I'll go to my PhD, and then from there I'll start running my own business. I want to be a banker.
So you want to be running your own bank?
Yep.
And how old do you think you'll be when you do that?
16 or 15.
Honestly, this is probably one of the best ones on this list. This boy was 7 years old and did surgery on a girl who was 8 years old. Her parents couldn't afford surgery from any other doctor, so they went to him. Honestly, I'm surprised they trusted this kid because I would not trust a 7-year-old with my daughter. But luckily they did trust him because the surgery was successful and this kid will forever be known as a child genius.
2000, in a rural Indian village at the foothills of the Himalayas, an operation was about to take place on an 8-year-old girl. But what was so extraordinary was that the surgeon carrying out the operation was 1 year younger than the patient.
In this book, the surgery is well defined and it contains 57 surgeries.
The girl had been badly burned as a toddler. Her hands had formed into permanent fists. Her fingers had fused together. As the girl's family were shepherds, they could not afford surgery. They turned for help to a young boy who had a reputation in the region for being a medical genius. In an hour-long operation, the boys successfully separated the girl's fingers, uncurling her hand for the first time in 5 years. The operation was a success, and the legend of Akrit Jaswal, child surgeon, child genius, was born.
Finally, in the number 1 spot, we have two brothers who are absolute geniuses. One of them is already in college at the age of 14 studying physics, and the other is 11 years old studying astrophysics. Honestly, I do not know what this mother is feeding them, but I definitely need some of that. I mean, 1 son, you could say that's luck, but 2, you know what you're doing.
Mastering quantum physics is impressive on its own, but what's most remarkable about Carson Hui Yu
as the second derivative of position with respect to time
is that he's only 14 and he's graduating from Texas Christian University today, their youngest graduate ever.
I was 10 graduating high school, so it's really the only thing that I could do. It's not like I could stay at home for 8 years just doing nothing.
His mom, Claretta, says she realized Carson was pretty special when he was just a toddler.
Around age 3, he loved math, and he asked me if he could learn calculus, and I thought,
She homeschooled Carson until he was 5, when she knew he needed more.
So she took me to a public school, and they said that I was way too advanced. I ended up going to a high school. Private high school.
A 5-year-old in 8th grade.
After that, I didn't skip anything and graduated at 10 years old.
That 10-year-old boy dove right into physics when he got to TCU. It would become his major along with a double minor in math and Chinese. Professor Magnus Ritby became a mentor to Carson.
One of the main principles have always been don't give him preferential treatment. Try to really treat him as any other college kid.
Of course, Carson really isn't your average college kid.
I still play games. I have my little brother Cannon. I still have friends my age. I have a puppy. I have all of those things that you would normally have, but it's just academically different.
In the fall, Carson will return to TCU for graduate school and eventually his PhD. But this time, he won't be the only member of the family on campus. His brother Cannon, just 11 years old, will be a freshman.
When I come to TCU, I'm going to major in astrophysics and engineering.
Claretta, the proud mom of the...
Well guys, that is all for today and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a sub is always welcome. Anyways, stay sexy and peace!